Hello, and thank you for tuning to Neptune Knives. So, a lot of times, I get feedback and I kind of get burned for saying that, some knives I don't think are, as good as other ones. And, these knives, are certain people's, favorite knives, and they really like them. The thing is, for me, knives are tools, not toys, not, some people collect them, true. Some people admire them, true. For me, I intend to use them, and I intend to have them serve their purpose. If not, they're not worth it. Because I think you can find a knife that looks good and works. And so the thing is, a lot of people will say, for example, let's say we're talking tactical here, military use, things like that. They'll say this is good, but have they ever held or used this knife? Because then this is better. When you learn all the features and how it's designed, the refinement, it is what it is. Same thing, when someone says, "Oh man, what's a tough built knife?" and talking about hinders or whatever, have they ever held this and used this one? And that's just kind of how it goes. So, kind of like now, we're not talking about these knives. We're talking about the Boker Cox and the Subcom. This one, not too many reviews on, but Boker always says they're selling out, pretty popular, okay, whatever. And then the Subcom, Warcom, whatever. This is designed by Chad Los Baños. This is the nice version with the titanium handles. I was like, ooh, titanium, that sounds great, Okay, this is a very popular knife. Prepare yourself because I'm going to trash this thing, right? But the point is, there are better knives. When you hold knives like, if you're looking for a slip joint like this knife, right? I got turned on to this by Half Moon 67 when he says two favorite knives. This is the UK PK. Other small knives you can consider are the Dragonfly. ZDP steels. Spyderco construction quality, pretty decent. Japanese made means tough screws. How do I know? If you watch my videos on screws, here's my little Dragonfly. Use these screws for my, when I was switching the screws around on my military and Apocalypse. Wow, tough screws. And you have a little made in China also, Boker Nepal. Screws a little bit below average, not as good as Spyderco's on this Dragonfly and the Japanese ones, but decent, way better than these screws. Not as good as those screws, but you have that to consider. So when you own a variety of knives and you're able to to handle these different knives, then you have a way to compare, and so that's why I'm doing these videos, because kind of let you guys know what I have come across. And so to start with some of the flaws, I guess let's start with just the Subcom, because this is short. Basically, okay, so the blade's not centered. None of them ever were. Fine, You got the ones with the little funnier finger thing that's like made out of, I don't know, some kind of plastic G10. I don't care. You can catch it on your pocket maybe and wave it. Okay, whatever. The main thing is the screws are crap. They give you this tool to take it apart, and the screws just suck. This is for a knife for people who are new to knives. This is their first knife, or they're trying to be modest or humble. They think this is effective, this is good, and this is what they consider to get. And they never take their knives apart. They never use them outdoors, get them really dirty. They have no idea that corrosion is occurring on the stainless steel parts. It's one of those knives for just not really knife people. Now it seems tactical, but there is a better one, and that knife I'll do a review on when I get my hands on it. Still waiting on it. Blows this knife out of the water. This is the fake one, that one's the real one. And that one is used by military and law enforcement, and it's made right. Way better than this. It's that whole debate. $30 could have been applied to something better. Put that dang thing on layaway. What do you need $30 for this crap? Main thing is, these screws suck. Even though the washers aren't even, they're not phosphor bronze, they're just, okay, here's a good example. I can't take this thing apart right now quickly in this video because, one, this screw's stripped, but two, when I turn it, the other side turns. Oh, screw it, here, we'll do this side. You ready? See it? Because they're not shouldered. They're not slotted. These little spacers, standoffs, don't stay in place. So even if they give you one tool, you need two to take this dang thing apart. But let's try to get inside that pivot. Well, these are the washers you get. Now, normally I like to do my research, but all I know is these are those cheap China washers. And could someone tell me what these are? Because I try to Google it and it's a pain in the butt, and I give up. The point is, it's a good design. I do like this knife in terms of its design, because what it does right is that instead of trying to be a large size knife, instead of trying to be a small knife that gives you a grip for your whole hand, which is just, you know, kind of silly, like the Dragonfly trying to fit your whole hand on a small little knife. Instead, it accepts that's a small knife. I can't get in there. And instead has you just grab enough to where it secures your hand, the knife in your hand, and protects you in case it unlocks with that little choil. So that's a good design. But like I said, if you see the better version that's out there, if you know about it, then this thing is, you know, it's garbage. I mean, there's no reason for it. The first thing is just his design is all these edges are hard. They're smoothed, but the design itself has them just, this whole back piece is just one solid thing. So when you grab it, there's some extreme hot spots. We're talking right here, down here. I mean, it hurts your hand. You get new blisters in places you didn't have before in your hand when you use other knives. So, you know, even I had to go in and sand it down, bevel it around, you know, try to create some slight bevels like you would see on a Reeve knife, just to make it more comfortable. That's the main thing. If you're going to use this a lot, not the best. Next thing, you know, this great construction. If you had seen that Terzula slip joint, not the best, because Terzula thought, you know, hey, let's create two liners inside that have little ball bearings on them, ball detents on them, and when you open it, oh, those two ball detents hold the blade in place. Not exactly the strongest. So what's better and simpler is just to use this stainless steel bar that actually will flex and bend as you unlock it, and it's really quite durable, except for the fact that, you know, it will keep wearing on that back side. But what that happens is that's a lot of force and tension, and this knife had some blade play originally, and so, you know, I just thought, hey, you know, I like the more tense feel, tightened it, but, you know, because of that constant bending, that force inside there. Note, good news, Boker Germany screws are really good quality. So good quality that when tightened down, the screw didn't strip or break, unlike, you know, maybe a Spyderco or something. the titanium threading inside the hole for the titanium threading stripped. So on my knife, I can't screw it down all the way anymore. So if you own this knife, don't screw it down too tight. Keep it kind of loose and just kind of accept a little bit of blade play. Now, it is a hand opening knife, but you can, you know, if you practice this, you know, always a little dangerous, but you can do it. Now, that's not the biggest design flaw. The next huge design flaw is this. When you close it, right? Listen to this. That loud clacking noise is this. Yeah. This tip always smacks in there. And that's why the tip always goes blunt first. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. I mean, he could have just... It's just stupid. He's stupid. I'm sorry, Hanzo. Come on, man. You do better than that. That's goofy. Heck, it doesn't even necessarily stay... Look, doesn't that seem kind of a little odd, too? Like, it kind of comes really close to the edge. Now, the good thing is, you know, when you have a pivot that goes directly into G10, you know, it could move around, and that could wear a little, you know, create a little play movement inside that hole for the pivot. Anzo has a technique that's, you know, pretty nice that, you know, I wish Strider might include, which is he slots. 1 second.